Hello everyone, how are you today? I have the pleasure to be here again in Istanbul and talk about the growth of the sandbox. And it's a pleasure to receive the clicker, thank you. This is a pretty packed room, so I'm really excited to speak in front of you again. And maybe before I jump into the presentation of Sandbox, I'd like to ask you, how many of you already have played Sandbox in the room? All right, that's a good number, but still a lot of progress. How many of you own an NFT? All right, good, good. And how many of you have heard about the Metaverse less than 6 months ago? Great. So as you can see, there's still a lot of education to do around really what is truly the Metaverse, what are some of the possibilities you can do, and how you can play and interact with your NFTs into it. So before we jump into some of those concrete use cases, I'd like to show you a teaser of the recent Alpha Season 3 of Sandbox that unfortunately already ended, so you cannot play this one yet anymore, but that was a great showcase of all the different possibilities in terms of entering the Metaverse with your avatar and starting to engage with more than 98 different experiences for the last 2 months, including 22 major experiences from brands, including Rabbit, including Atari, including The Walking Dead or Warner Music Group. Some of those experiences have been hugely popular, and just to give you some of the metrics, Sandbox just passed 4.2 million users with registered wallets. We had over 350,000 active users for the duration of the season, with peaks of 40,000 players in a day. So yes, the Metaverse was not empty at all. There was a lot of players at all time running around you, engaging around you, chatting, dancing with you. On average, people spent almost 20 to 30 minutes per experience, meaning they were really focused, dedicating, interacting, ready to discover those contents. So this is great. We're really happy to see the growth of players, the growth of brands, the growth of landowners, the growth of our ecosystem as well. I will share with you those metrics. And we see that Metaverse really has opened. It has to be open. It has to be this myriad of virtual worlds where you, as a user, will truly own your digital identity, that avatar, that is that 3D character that you can use to access more fun, more social, more immersive, more creative experiences. You also need to truly own all your digital assets, like your wearable, your equipment, even your virtual land, your virtual house, and so on. Unlike what we've seen in video games before, I'm sure many of you have played MMORPGs, maybe World of Warcraft, maybe Second Life, maybe Fortnite more recently. All the content you actually bought with real money doesn't really belong to you, because you cannot transfer it to another user. You cannot use it outside of Fortnite or the game where it was created. You can even monetize it by selling it on a marketplace or another user. That's really where the Metaverse is a big difference, that idea that you can take that content from one world, one platform to another in a permissionless manner. You don't need to ask a permission to anyone to do that. And Sandbox is one of the decentralized world that use blockchain technology and NFTs to enable that. And we also think that all the content we're going to see in the Metaverse will be built by users, essentially. 99% of the content will be created by users, and to do so, we need to provide them very easy, very accessible tools. That's why we chose voxels, those sort of 3D pixels, almost like digital Legos. So anyone, yes, anyone in this room can be a creator using voxels and start building their content, their experience in the Metaverse. We also have our no-code game maker that can be used to create games and more just by drag and dropping. And besides user-generated content, we also want to bring culture. We want to make the Metaverse a fun place, focusing on the content and the people that will be inside it. And having brands like Gucci, The Walking Dead, Adidas, just to name a few, it brings it creates a bridge with the real world. It brings the characters, the stories, the location we're already familiar with. And for the first time, we're also able to use them to take those contents as NFTs, remix them all together, publish them on our own land, and monetize them the way we want. And ultimately, what we're going to see is a new format of entertainment. Like every new technology that came, from smartphone to console gaming and now to the metaverse, it creates a new format of entertainment that you access with an avatar and where you can own, you can socialize, you can build, you can play, you can meet, and you can earn as you contribute toward building that world or spending time in that world. So all the value that comes from your time, your activity, or your creativity will go back to you first and foremost, and not to the centralized platform that operates them. And ultimately, I believe it will lead to an open economy where creation of new jobs, millions of new jobs will be coming from it, even leading to decentralized finance or even decentralized governance, since you can own all the assets and be involved in the future of those platforms. What makes also the metaverse unique is being a virtual world, you discover the content on the metaverse not just by a gallery of game, an app store, a Google Play Store, but through lands. It's a virtual world, and so lands are the key location, like digital space of real estate, where the experiences are being published and are being accessed by the avatars from other users. You can own land, you can rent land if you're not a creator, or you can create on it and start your business and start earning revenue. So land is a very easy to understand kind of NFT with a real utility, just like real world real estate. In the case of Sandbox, we have a finite map of 166, 464 lands in total. That's it. Each one of those lands is an NFT. And all the 400 brands that enter Sandbox, they enter by owning land, showing their logo, and developing around them neighborhoods, meaning just like you have in large cities like Manhattan, Tokyo, Paris, etc., or even Istanbul, you have different neighborhoods with a lot of culture and a mix of categories of games, or content, experience, music, and so on. And when you enter one land with your avatar, you can move to the edge of that other land and step into your neighbor land, which means you can create your presence in the metaverse using and working with the community. That is a new way as well. We feel like the metaverse is this new digital nation, global, without frontiers. But to appeal each one of us, it also has to be very local. It has to involve the brands, involve the celebrities, involve the content that appeal to us. And that's why we work at Sandbox at creating all the different regions of the world, bring that culture, which are we announce having the Caver, so we have a lot of Korean brands, Japanese brands from Asia, but also when I was there 4 months ago, we announced the Turkish verse, so we have working to bring some key major partner from Turkey who will be best representing what makes Turkish culture to the rest of the world. Think about TV series, about movies, about your favorite celebrities. What could they do in the metaverse, and would you like to join the Sandbox if they were into it? Wait later this week for special announcements. And so we're proud to have a lot of those different culture and brands from all the sector of the industry. But we also have brands from the whole Web3 ecosystem, new brands born directly from the NFT collection. And all of those NFT collections, they've been having their headquarters, their land in Sandbox, and developing with their community, their presence, their experiences, very creatively, as well as through interoperability. Now today we support already 20 of the most popular NFT collection, including Bored Ape, Moonbird, Clonex, Cool Cats, World of Women, Rumble Kongs, Meebits, Gutter Gatkangs, etc. They can take those NFT, which originally were just 2D profile picture, and now become, just connecting your wallet on Sandbox, become 3D playable characters that can run, jump, fight, dance, express themselves, and hence it becomes fun to own them because you can start connecting with other users, other members of those communities that usually you only see or chat with on Discord. It brings a new dimension, a new spatial dimension of creativity and connectivity. And ultimately, that's how we see the future of interaction and gaming. We want every community, every project, anyone to be able to contribute building, creating, collecting, owning the content, being rewarded as they interact and contribute to grow the network, to grow the value, make it successful, and govern it ultimately through DAO and decentralization. we started Sandbox through tools. Like, for us, it's really important that anyone, again, can become a creator. And I'm proud to say that some of you in this audience today have already started becoming creators and builders in Sandbox. And I'd love them to share their story, so I can name a few, like Hungry Games, for example, as I see here. There's many others in the room that started to learn about and use the Sandbox tool and start creating the content that you will be enjoying. And I think it's been a very easy process for them, because there was no strong, steep learning curve. A lot of creators we had were never in the gaming industry before, not professional, and today they are part of this growing ecosystem. One more thing, like back to the idea of like you enter the metaverse through an avatar. That avatar, that is your new digital identity. It's unique, it's an NFT that you own. No one else can look like you. So you can use that avatar to define your new identity. In a way, you're born again in the metaverse, and you can choose to be a man, a woman, a non-gender person, or even like non-human creature, or like your favorite celebrity, as some of them have started to launch collection as well of unique NFTs, such as this Snoop Dogg in Gucci, where there's only one in the world. And we've done that with many others, like Steve Aoki. We're launching this week the Care Bears as NFTs, and we also have Steve Aoki, Cyberpunk, Cat, Borget, World of Women. All of them help to define a new virtual world where you see more diverse characters. Like, I want to play in that world. I find it fun to meet that so many different characters of all those shapes, all those different communities. That's refreshing. Besides that, like, we want you to be able to do almost any kind of activity in the metaverse, but still, we're very early on. So right now, we can essentially like interact through gaming, through socialization, RPG, quest, parkour game. We've launched some fashion shows, some art galleries, some museum, some adventures, some sport experience, some retro gaming. But we believe over the next few years, more and more use case, and every industry will benefit from it. So we'll be able also to have like education-related activities, work relations, events, and even and much more. And that platform really should also provide new opportunities. Like, the success of the platform will come first and foremost from the success of the people who are building on it, who are launching their business, or like who are spending time. So we want Metaverse to bring millions of new jobs, of course, in content creation with architect, house designer, game designer, even fashion designer to make unique outfits for those avatars, but also in the content discovery. Each people who spend time to curate the best content and experiences, or even like spend time so every single avatar experience is more unique. Just like in the real world, when you enter a shop, you enter an event, there's a person that's here welcoming you, guiding you. That will be the same in the metaverse. Other businesses have started to appear with virtual real estate agent, NFT reseller, event manager. We are proud to have had the first wedding months ago in the Sandbox, and I'm sure there will be plenty of other like birthday parties, virtual conference, and much more as well. And ultimately, now that all the time you spend collecting rewards in gaming, those rewards are also tokens on a blockchain. They can be traded, they can be sold on marketplaces. You can potentially derive a revenue and make gaming your next job. Here, that's the picture I love the most, like the growth of that ecosystem. It's a little bit outdated, by the way. When I sent that slide, we were about 100 studios. Today, we are 230 studios. At the beginning of the year, probably 10 studios. 230 studios who are building for some of the 400 brands, for some of the 23,000 unique landowners, or for themselves, the first experience on the platform. And they started to also hire themselves, so there's a growing number of creators in the industry. I think there's 5 studios here in Turkey already on board. There's like 3 in Hong Kong, 8 in Korea, 6 in France, 10 in the US, and so on. and they generated revenue for themselves. Some of them have like business 6 months in advance, so they are already full of business and generating significant amount of revenue already through that. So I think that's, because again, it's still very early on in the metaverse, I'd like to spend some time to give you my 5 recommendations on what to do, how to enter the metaverse. The first one, it's to put creativity first. Like, the metaverse is not yet a place for transactional, for commerce, for value extraction from the users. You want to offer something creative. It's a chance to reinvent your brand, your community in the metaverse, and starting from the ground up by asking with your fans, with your community, what do they want to do that they can't do in the real world? What is something you can offer them here using this new technology that's not possible there? And once you figure that out, it could be for a celebrity or a singer, like to launch a concert for 1 million people. If you're an art place or a monument, a landmark, to make you accessible from anywhere in the world at any time. There's plenty of ideas. Once you figure that out, you want to also reward users who are going to spend that time, choose to spend that time with you in your experience, with NFTs, with token, and start also opening yourself to more collaboration in the space, like embracing the NFT culture. So you enter the metaverse by collaborating with other projects, by buying NFT yourself, by displaying the NFT you own, by playing in other people's lands, and so on. And also encouraging user-generated content, like through game jams, through contests, enable your community to co-create your presence with them in the metaverse and define your lands. And that's why also, like for us, like driving creativity, driving creators is essential. We also have our Game Maker Fund, who is here to support the innovation, the entrepreneurship, the ideas, the craziest ideas as possible, to come to life in Sandbox, where you wouldn't see them on other traditional platforms. And we've already been supporting hundreds of projects and experience around them, some of them that you've been able to play. That's pretty much it for my presentation today. I hope that it helped you to have a better overview of some of the possibilities of the metaverse. If you haven't yet done so, it's very easy. Create an avatar for free, choose your character, and you can start engaging, playing, socializing, and maybe much more. That's it. Thank you, and see you in the metaverse.